Good evening. Welcome to Left, Right and Centre. I'm Vishnu Shom. On the program tonight, farmer groups categorically reject a series of proposals made by the government as a meeting ground to end the farmer protests. The farmers say that they will continue their unrest, in fact, step it up. That's our first topic tonight. Also on the show, the Indian Air Force versus Netflix. They tweet out an objection to a Netflix movie where Anil Kapoor is the star. The IAF opposes an IAF uniform worn by Anil Kapoor. And to the language that he uses, Kapoor tweets out an apology video, but the larger question remains, the Air Force versus Anil Kapoor or Netflix. Should our forces be guardians of how they are depicted in films? But first, our top story. The government sent in a series of new proposals to the farmers who've been on protest, who've been across several cities, primarily the national capital, for 2 weeks now. But the farmers rejected this. They say that there needs to be a complete rollback in the three farmer laws. There is no rollback that has taken place, but new amendments have been written. A written assurance on MSP is something that the farmers wanted. That's what the government says. That assurance is being provided, but the farmers say no, take back the laws. The government has offered states can make registration of mandi traders. The government says mandatory that states can register private mandis. The government has said that state governments may impose fees on private mandis. They've offered farmers' concerns on pollution laws be discussed. They say that farmers will have the option to go to courts and that the land of farmers will not be attached. So that's what the government came out with, a comprehensive set of proposals, but the farmers have said no. Joining us now to look at this, Yogendra Yadav, National President of Swaraj India, Pinaki Mishra, Lok Sabha MP of the BJD, joins us as well, and Lalita Kumara Mangalam of the BJP. Yogendra Yadav, why has this been rejected?
Vishnu, you said this was a new proposal. Actually, there's nothing new here at all. In fact, the government has not moved 1 inch from where it said to put things orally on the 5th. If anything, they've probably withdrawn a couple of things. What did the farmers want? They said, please repeal these 3 laws, which you are presenting as a gift to us. If it is meant as a gift, we don't want it. This gift, please take it back. Instead, give us one gift, namely legal right for the MSP. What does the government say? On the Essential Commodities Act, there is not one word in the proposals today. On the Electricity Act, they say, well, it's a proposal that's being discussed right now. On the MSP, the government says, we are willing to give you a written assurance about the present levels of MSP. Not a word on legal right, nothing about MSP levels at the Swaminathan Commission, and nothing about places which do not get the MSP today. Where would they go? On the mandi, you say the government has agreed to the farmers' demand. No, it has not. The government simply says that state governments, if they so desire, can impose levy or fee on the mandis. But what if they don't? The essential apprehension of the farmers is that this is an unequal competition. The government has simply left it now to the discretion of the state government. This does not address the farmers' apprehensions at all, and on the contract as well. So what I'm saying basically, Vishnu, is this, that amendments are fine if the basic structure of the law and the basic intent is good. Then you say, all right, tweak it a bit to make it perfect. In this case, we question the very intent of these bills. We question the very foundational things of these bills, and therefore we remain unchanged.
All right. Pinaki Mishra, what is your perspective? What is your party's perspective on this? The government has come out with a series of proposals. Yogendra Yadav points out that these aren't entirely new. He also points out why they can't be accepted. Where do you see this going forward?
Our party's position has been very clear ever since, I think, the last 18, 20 years that Mr. Patnaik has been at the helm of affairs. The state government and the Biju Janata Dal has always considered that the MSP is an important tool for income generation of the farmers. The MS Swaminathan chaired National Commission for Farmers, you recall, has recommended that the MSP should be at least 50% more than the weighted average cost of production. The BJD's position is unequivocal that the MS Swaminathan report should be considered and accepted in toto. The Odisha Legislative Assembly, under Mr. Patnaik's helmsmanship, has passed a unanimous resolution in this regard in 2017 and then again in 2018, so that farmers are not prevented from getting their MSP. Now, today, this issue was again taken to the cabinet. The cabinet has now approved a proposal contained in the cabinet memorandum, and a consent has been obtained to say that the Orissa government reiterates the need to implement the above recommendations of the Swaminathan Commission regarding MSP fully across all crops. That is the unequivocal position of Mr. Naveen Patnaik as well as the Biju Janata Dal. Therefore, we certainly hope, as Mr. Yadav has stated, that this is one of the linchpins of the farmers' agitation and their demands, and this be considered very, very carefully and sympathetically by the government and proceed accordingly.
Mrs. Kumaramangalam, the farmers now say that they're going to step up their protest. They're not going anywhere. One of the proposals is that the Delhi-Jaipur highway may even be blocked. What does the government now intend to do?
Vishnu, let me first start off by saying that the BJP government has shown that it is extremely sensitive to both the needs and the feelings of farmers. Feelings are running, emotions are running very high at this moment, and they are facing a lot of difficulty, and we are entirely empathetic to that. The government has also made several very key assurances that they have given to the farmers. It is unfortunate that some malcontents seem to be determined to not trust the government's intentions on this matter. Right from the beginning of the effort, the initiative that has been taken to amend agricultural laws, because I've said this on on several occasions, that agriculture today in India is facing an emergency. The farmers, especially the poorer farmers, the small and marginal farmers, are in desperate need of major amendments in the agricultural procedures, etc., the acts.
Yes.
The government has said, we will give you a written assurance in MSP. Of course, they're not going to go back on it now. And much of what is being asked
Sorry, the government is not going to go back on MSP beyond what they've already proposed.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the government has said they will give a written assurance on MSP. And this government has also many of our own trade unions, farmer trade unions, have agreed that MSP should probably be given to all agricultural goods.
No, but ma'am, going forward was my question. Right. What next? The farmers have decided. The ball is now in the centre's court. How are you going to end this impasse?
The farmers seem determined not to accept whatever is given. I do not know what their reason is. It seems a little confusing because, and I'm saying this as a layperson, as a member of the BJP, yes, but I am not part of the agricultural ministry or the government or the government.
So, ma'am, your point, ma'am. Yeah.
The point is that we are very well aware of the feelings, the rights, the needs of the farmers, and we have come to the table with the intention of trying to work out a solution.
Okay, all right. Come to the table with the intention of trying to work out a solution. Let me go back to Yogendra Yadav. Is there any meeting ground at all if the government were not to repeal the laws?
I think with a sleight of hand, we've changed the terms of discussion on this one. Remember, Vishnu, these three laws were meant to be the greatest historic gift to the farmers. And I suppose the normal rule in a gift is that the person who receives the gift should be able to say whether they like the gift or not. Lalita ji is very confused about why farmers do not believe. I can give Lalita ji some hints about why farmers are not willing to trust the government on this. Because the government said, we want to give you a gift. Farmers' unions all over the country said, please don't, just consult us. Government said, no consultation. And Lalita ji, I was on a show about an hour ago with RSS's organization, Bharatiya Kisan Sangh, which categorically said that at no stage were we ever consulted about these bills. So you can see why farmers may be anxious. Then they said, please don't make it a law, at least have a consultation with farmers. Not a single consultation with farmers. Then in the parliament, people said, let this go to a committee, let's have a thorough discussion. No, the thing was pushed down. So when, Lalita ji, I come to you and I say, I want to give you a gift, you say, no, maybe not. And I say, no, I want to give you a gift. You say, but I don't quite like it. And I say, no, but I actually want to give you a gift. And you say, maybe just don't, go away. And then I say, how dare you not accept my gift? Let's have a middle way. You accept half of it. How would it feel, Lalita ji?
All right.
This
So
is
you
how
feel
it
that this
feels
was a
to farmers.
patronizing effort on the part of the government to give a quote-unquote gift to farmers, when in fact they wanted to be consulted before these laws actually took place, and the laws were pushed through without very much consultation, not just among farmers, but also not very much within Parliament at all. Pinaki Mishra, this is an untenable situation between the government, which has repeatedly indicated so far that they're not willing to repeal the laws. They've been offering these concessions. The farmers have said no. There's a very real situation, and I keep referring to this every day, of elderly farmers on the outside Delhi. It's cold. Young children. We did a story on a 10-year-old girl yesterday. And, you know, I mean, it's how long can this realistically go on? Who's going to budge? There is a humanitarian crisis, and also a humanitarian crisis potentially for people in Delhi.
I completely agree. Firstly, with Mr. Yogendra Yadav, who said that there should have been wider consultation. That's what the Biju Janata Dal said, both in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, that please have a wider consultation. And if your own cabinet colleague and your oldest alliance partner, which is a farmers' party, is not convinced about this, there must be something fundamentally that's troubling them. So therefore, send it to a standing committee, send it to a select committee. I don't know what was the imperative to have rushed it through the manner in which they did, and particularly the manner in which it was passed in the Rajya Sabha, which was fairly unedifying. Now, as far as what you say, it's a current situation is very, very untenable, no question about it. It's also very concerning because, as you said, there are elderly farmers, there are women, there are people of all age groups, and in these COVID pandemic times, for them to be exposed to the elements in this manner, I think the government has to take a more sympathetic view. There can be no egos in this regard. The heavens are not falling. I mean, if these, in the past, enactments have been repealed and brought back afresh with some amendments, with some give and take, the same can be done here. If there's so much anxiety, there is no reason for this kind of, as I say, headstrong reaction to this whole thing, saying that no, it's my way or the highway. We are not going to budge. We will only have some amendments, and you take the amendments, or that's it. So I would seriously urge a very serious consultation. If the farmers are not willing to, at the moment, accept these legislations, they should be repealed. Go back for a wider consultation. There are aspects of it, we believe, which may be in the interests of farmers, which need to be explained to them. There are elements which can be tinkered a little bit, and farmers can benefit ultimately with reforms. There is no question about that. But let's have reforms after consultation.
All right.
The farmers,
I think
I'm sure,
that's
will
a
not
key
look
point.
a gift horse.
That's a key point that nobody...
They will not look at a gift horse in the mouth. I have no doubt.
I don't think anybody in the farmer community is not wanting reforms. The question is, what form will these reforms actually take after a process of consultation? I'd like to thank all of you very much for joining us.